reptilian.
Let's head back to the 1980s and talk about some good old Thundercats. Specifically, one who chooses the path of a healer. Let's talk about Pumira. Let's get to it.
Hello folks, and welcome back to another lore lockdown, where today we are diving into a narrative that completely shatters the heroic optimism of the ThunderCats franchise, the heartbreaking tale of Pumira. Pumira is a character built on the foundation of pure empathy. Originally introduced in the second season of the classic 80s animated series, she was the brainchild of head writer Leonard Starr, and the Rankin Bass creative team used her to expand on Tobin Wolfe's original universe. Her creation story is brilliant, but rooted in reality. They wanted a dedicated medic in the ThunderCats, and the story of Pumira showed up in all its glory. She was brought into the mythos as a deeply compassionate healer who brought in a nurturing dynamic to a group dominated by fierce combatants. Her backstory is insane though, and heartbreaking to say the least. It took us 4 decades to find out about it, so let's not waste any more time. Let's begin exploring the untold origin story of a strong and skilled warrior who decided to walk the path of a healer. Revenge and forgiveness. It is a brutal day in the small farming village of Bronte, Thundera, which is set aflame by an invasion from the mutants of Plundar. Gorel, their gorilla leader, commands them to burn every single home and kill every single Thunderian. In one of the houses, Pumarius asks his wife Lyra to hide in the cellar with their young daughter Pumira. Lyra pleads with him to come with them, but they both know that Pumarius would not, as he had a responsibility towards his people and must protect their farm. The three hug before Lyra and Pumira head to the cellar. Little Pumira does not want to leave her father behind, but her mother pulls her down with her, requesting her not to make it more difficult than it already is. She gives Pumira a hug and tells her that there is no need for her to worry, as her father used to be a Thundercat before he settled in Bronte to raise Pumira. So there is nothing he could not handle. Lyra is right about her husband, as Pumarius hacks down the mutants with his axe. He asks his fellow villagers to tend to the fires as they would not survive the winter if their crops burnt down. He asks every able-bodied farmer to grab anything that can be used as a weapon to fight against the mutants. Gorel considers it more fodder for them to grind into ash as she attacks him with her sword. Pumarius criticizes her for attacking poor farmers and asks her if Slythe knows about how low she has sunk. Gorel does not answer to Slythe though, but she knows he wants the glory of winning against the ThunderCats, and an easy way to guarantee a victory against them is to cut off their food supply. Pumarius is no match to the savage skill of the mutant. Gorel stabs her sword through Pumarius's chest and tells him that the only regret she has is that he will not witness the suffering of the ThunderCats, unlike the time they destroyed her home and left her to bleed out. In the cellar, Pumira and Lyra notice the sudden silence, and Pumira wonders if it is over. Lyra heads up to check things out and instructs Pumira to stay there until she returns. Suddenly, the cellar door swings open and a mutant announces that he found more. Lyra lunges at him with her knife and screams at Pumira to run. Pumira stands rooted to the floor, clutching her black kitten doll in fear. Gorel enters and orders her lackeys to murder them. Lyra darts at Gorel and sticks her knife in her eye. The mutant smacked away Lyra, and she fell on the topmost stair of the cellar. She looks at Pumira one last time and requests her to run before Gorel's sword claims her life. Overcome with anger, the child picks up Lyra's knife and runs at Gorel to stab her, but Gorel swats at her like she is a bothersome pest. Pumira drops her doll, and Gorel picks it up while ordering her lackeys to erase Pumarius's bloodline completely. One of the mutants tell her that they need to leave immediately, as the ThunderCats are there. Gorel does not want to leave, as she was there to fight, but the ThunderCats outnumber the mutants 10-1, forcing her to leave, covering her injured eye. Gorel warns Pumira that she will not always be protected by the ThunderCats. Left alone with her mom, Pumira tugs at Lyra's dead body, crying her little eyes out. A hand gently touches her shoulder, and she turns fiercely with a knife, threatening to kill whoever it is. It is just Panthro though, and he tells her that he is there to help. Unfortunately, the ThunderCats arrived a bit too late, and now Pumira is an orphan. Panthro takes Pumira back to the school where he teaches young Thunderians to fight and be capable ThunderCats. 6 years pass quickly, and soon she is a troubled but skilled student of Panthro. During a sparring match with one of the other students, Ash, Pumira displays her skills impressively. She knocks Ash into a tree and grabs her staff. Panthro orders her to stand down, but Pumira doesn't listen. As she brings the staff down, Ash blocks it with her hand. When Pumira shows no sign of stopping, Panthro pulls her away from Ash. Panthro chastises her for not stopping, even after her opponent was defeated. Pumira retorts that the exercise is pointless, and they are beating each other with sticks, while the mutants are still out there, posing a threat to the safety of Thundera. Meanwhile, the other students check on Ash and tell Panthro that her arm is broken. Panthro orders Pumira to tend to Ash, set and wrap her arm, and to make sure she is comfortable until she is completely healed. He reminds her that she is fighting for people on her side. As the students disperse, Jaga, who had been observing everything, tells Panthro that Pumira reminds him of Panthro, as he too had a temper as a child and was equally thick-headed. Panthro was aware of the trauma and violence she witnessed as a child, but also knew that till she addressed it, she would be a liability and a danger to those around her. Ash tells Pumira that she doesn't need to care for her, but Pumira is only doing it to please Panthro, and she makes it clear. Ash tells her that she is not the only one suffering, as Ash's entire village was decimated by a mutant attack. Pumira is taken aback by the revelation, and Ash tells her that she would have known about it if she had not cut off everyone around her. She wonders out loud what the cause of it is, wondering out loud if it is anger or fear of losing someone in battle that makes her prefer isolation. Whatever the reason may be, Ash tells her that she cannot be a warrior alone. This causes her to open up her heart just a little. As she takes care of Ash, a friendship begins to grow between the two, and Panthro compliments her for taking good care of Ash. As the years pass, Pumira's skills grow. One day, she is chopping away trees in the woods when Jaga meets her. He can clearly see that her training has not been in vain, and tells her that she has impressed Panthro with her progress in opening herself up to others. Despite that, Jaga observes that the death of her parents eats at her and fills her with rage. Pumira does not want to abandon that rage, as it is the last piece of her parents left with her, and it motivates her to be a great warrior. Jaga disagrees, as though rage can make a fierce warrior, it often clouds one's judgment and makes them a liability on the battlefield. Irked at the comment, Pumira asks him if he expects her to forget that Gor-El killed her mother in front of her. Jaga does not expect that in the least, and offers her a chance to confront her rage. He tells her that he has heard a rumor about a one-eyed gorilla who lives alone in the mountains after being exiled from the mutants. That's all Pumira needs to know, and that night, she begins to pack some of her things and begin her hunt for Gor-El. Ash tries to stop her, to wait till the morning so that Panthro can weigh in, but Pumira is not willing to let Panthro stop her. Ash asks to join her, but Pumira asks her to stay and cover for her, as this is her battle and her battle alone. Aided by the cover of the night, Pumira trudges through the wilderness of the mountains and climbs them till she finds the lit entrance of a cave. She pulls her axe out of her bag and creeps in, but a voice tells her not to sneak in. Gor-El, old and weak now, sits on a chair in front of a fire and tells Pumira that she may be mostly blind, but her hearing skills are still very active. So she had heard Pumira scrambling up the mountain. Even with one eye, Gor-El has not lost any of her warrior instincts and immediately recognizes her as Pumarius' child. Pumira orders Gor-El to pick up her sword, as she is itching to show the mutant what monster she has created. Gor-El looks at her sword, hanging on one of the walls, and tells Pumira that her fighting days ended the day her mother took her eye. After losing an eye, Gor-El had lost the ability to judge distances, and her opponents made thorough use of it in battle. Soon, even her fellow mutants turned on her, usurped her power, and threw her out. Pumira refuses to let Gor-El sully the moment with her sob stories, as she has been waiting for a decade to get her revenge. Gor-El understands her as she used to be in her position. The Thundercats had attacked her village filled with brave gorillas and had killed her 4 brothers with no mercy. This had pushed her to train for every single day. From the break of dawn to the darkest time of night, she was motivated by vengeance and pushed by anger. When she finally found Pumarius and killed him for what he had done to her brothers, she did not feel anything. Her brothers were still dead, and now she was cast out of her clan. She got her revenge, but her life had unraveled. She asked Pumira to get her revenge, as it would only be a relief to have her miserable life ended. She hopes Pumira enjoys her revenge more than she did hers. On a shelf in the cave, Pumira sees her black kitten doll and picks it up. Looking at the melancholic face of the gorilla, something clicks inside her, and she heads back home. Ash rushes at her as she enters their shared room and asks her if she did what she had gone to do. Pumira places her doll on the bookshelf and tells Ash no. Until then, Pumira had always believed that the only way to honor her parents was through retribution. But after seeing Gorel, she had realized that revenge was nothing but a disease that consumed one's soul. She had been so preoccupied by it that she had neglected to see that her parents had tried to forge a different path. Her father had turned his back on war and only lifted his weapon if it was unavoidable. Her parents' focus was on building communities, probably to atone for their time at war. They had sought to nurture, feed, and heal, hoping this would be the path their daughter would one day follow. But Pumira is sad that it took her so long to realize it. Ash hugs her, assuring her that she knows her parents would have been proud of her. Pumira hugs her back and decides to continue their work and heal their community to honor their memory. Though Pumira went through the worst childhood trauma any child could ever experience, she rose above it and chose peace over violence and bloodshed, a lesson everyone could use in these times when an eye for an eye is making the rounds. I love simple but emotionally deep stories like this, and the art was consistent. What did you think about Pumira's story? Let me know in the comments below. And if you liked the video, click on that thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and ring that bell to always stay updated with our awesome content. I'll be back soon with more wonderful stuff, but until then, stay fierce. Goodbye!